I'd like to thank all of you for coming out tonight to my first State of the City address. Now, it's being recorded and it's going to be placed on the city's website, and it also will be available on Comcast. So we'll ask you not to move around too much during the address. And with that, to the residents of the city of Lauderhill, I especially want to recognize Vice Mayor Margaret Bates, and I saw Commissioner Howard Berger. Okay. All right, we've got Commissioner Denise Grant. We have City Attorney Earl Hall, City Manager Chuck Ferranda, Assistant City Manager Desiree Giles Smith. And to all of the employees of the city of Lauderhill. The state of Lauderhill is strong and improving. Let me begin with some history. In 2008, 2009, the city lost almost 50% of its taxable real estate value. The taxable value in the city went from $3 billion down to $1.6 billion. So to balance the budget, the city had to lay off employees. There were those who were encouraged to take early retirement. Programs and events that the city had previously sponsored were canceled. Our taxable real estate value today is $2.6 billion, which is still not what it was in 2008, but it has greatly improved. In 2008, 60% of the residential property was owner-occupied. Today, in 2019, 40% is owner-occupied, which translates to the loss of thousands of owner-occupied dwellers in the city. Now, I'll address the issue of home ownership a little bit later. However, since the recession, we've made a remarkable recovery. The lion's share of the city's budget, which is about 53%, goes to the important service of public safety. The Lauderhill Police Department had job openings and had great difficulty finding new officers. In my visits to Lauderhill 612 High School, to Piper, to Dillard, I found the desire to go into law enforcement was not high on the list of students' goals and career interests. We all today see the negativity toward law enforcement. Despite that difficulty, Chief Stanley and Assistant Chief Alan Siegel have reduced the number of vacancies from 21 down to 8. The police department continues to reduce the vacancy rate, and they're going to continue to work toward it and reduce it down to a more acceptable number. The department offers hiring bonuses as an incentive to current officers to recruit friends. But I do want to add that our very tough requirements of polygraph, drug tests, clean driving records, and psychological reviews have not been modified in order to fill those vacancies. In the last 12 months, statistics report that the police department answered 66,481 calls for service. Burglaries during that period reduced by 18.9%, and robberies decreased by 24.3%. The police department has started community engagement programs like Coffee with a Cop, as well as the popular Slow Roll with a Cop, where police officers and members of the community slowly ride bicycles throughout selected neighborhoods in the city. Now, although my bike had a flat tire, I did finish the last 2 slow rolls. As for our Lauderhill Fire Department, reports show in the last year, they answered calls, 14,718 calls for service, which is down from the previous year by 7%. They also added a new ladder truck, which is currently in full service. Due to the national opioid abuse epidemic, our fire department administers an average of 1 Narcan dose per month for heroin or other opioid overdose. The fire department awarded last year 4 Explorer scholarships to students from Lauderhill 612 to attend the Fire Academy. They conducted over 200 home safety inspections and installed smoke detectors for residents in need. The fire department staff hosted the Fire Rescue Annual Toy Drive, where firefighters and volunteers gave toys to over 100 deserving Lauderhill children. In the current fiscal year, the fire department plans to start in-service training for the new bailout kits and have joint PD, Fire Department Rescue Task Force training format meetings. One of the crown jewels in Lauderhill is the Lauderhill Performing Arts Center, affectionately referred to as the LPAC. Last year, it was rented for 159 dates. We had over 35,000 visitors. The LPAC has been used as a parking hub and box office for large events at Central Regional Park. It also became the resident venue for Broward Stage Door Theater. In an effort to increase exposure and access to the professional productions that take place at the LPAC, the city and the mayor's office hosted about 300 Lauderhill students to a live performance of the Broadway musical, The Wiz. The LPAC saw visitors from around the globe and featured events from a variety of different foreign countries that included Russia, India, China, Haiti, Ukraine, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Iran, and many more. So we're very proud of the things that are happening at the LPAC, and by promoting the LPAC, we want to change the image of the city. The grants department provides a yearly grant writing workshop to educate area residents, budding entrepreneurs, not-for-profit organizations, and existing small business owners on successfully navigating the grant writing process. This year, they facilitated 2 workshops in June and July, and the room was packed for both. The first event, there were 95 people in attendance, and this was the introduction to grant writing. The second presentation, there were 70 people present for advanced grant writing. And we want to thank Jane Sullivan, who does a great job for the city. The grants department received $4,444,000 last year. That money's additional dollars that came into the city. And the city of Lauderhill will continue to actively search for grants to increase the funding for the city. After the real estate meltdown of 2009, park rangers were removed from our budget. The department was reactivated about 3 years ago. Last year, park rangers conducted 802 patrols in our parks and facilities and completed 146 incident reports. They assisted in providing 6 traffic control details with police and city events and 120 details each way at elementary schools for children arriving and departing from school. Our code enforcement department accomplishments for this year included issuing approximately 5,744 notices of violations for non-compliance, averaging about 522 violations per month. It's noteworthy. It is noteworthy. Of those written violations, 1,858 were scheduled to appear before the code board, and 60% were brought into compliance. Sometimes people will say, how come this particular problem has allowed to continue? Well, it's not because we've not taken action. We may have issued a code violation, but we have to wait for that property owner to comply. And the only incentive we've got is to find them. So we find them, but it'll be generally when the person wants to sell or get a mortgage and there's a title search, then they go ahead and get the property in compliance. Now, with the code enforcement officers, there were 5 major sweeps performed in the Northwest, United Lauderhill, Lauderhill Central, St. George, and Broward Estate communities. These sweeps resulted in the issuance of 1,013 notices of violation. During the sweeps, code officials issued a total of 355 parking tickets and red tagged 313 illegally parked vehicles without tags, expired tags, large commercial vehicles. In addition to that, the division issued 9 civil citations for loose dogs and/or persons found commercially washing cars, or vehicles, I should say, and removed 322 illegal signs from city swales. And I always wondered how they do that, and now I see the code enforcement officers ride on Saturdays and holidays, removing the signs that seem to pop up all the time. The code enforcement management team participated in 4 successful ride-alongs with HOA Homeowner Association representatives from St. George, Broward Estates, Lauderhill United, and Lauderhill Central. The quarterly ride-along allows the residents the opportunity to express concerns. In addition to that, 2 separate trainings were conducted for new code enforcement officers and newly appointed code board members. The increase in staff was instrumental in the success of the minimum housing inspections. The Community Development Agency, commonly called CRA, this year completed the first phase of the Commercial Facade Grant Program. The first phase resulted in the construction start of the city's first major facade improvements in the immediate vicinity of the LPAC. The second round of the facade grant program has begun, and 2 property owners have applied. The second phase applicants have received development review approval, and as of August 2018, making the completion of the design phase and the start of building permitting. Within the city's eastern CRA, D.R. Horton has completed the construction of the Cricket Club, and we know that's across the street from the LPAC. There's new townhomes that have just been constructed. Those buildings have been completed and they're now on the market for sale. And new residents have already begun to move in. The CRA staff successfully lobbied Broward County Commission to reallocate previously awarded grant funds in the amount of $1 million as part of the Broward redevelopment program for a public infrastructure improvement. Now, that $1 million that we got, those funds will be used toward the 38th Avenue right-of-way project. We're rebranding that 38th Avenue area between 19th Street and 15th Street to become a Wynwood type arts and entertainment district. The Central CRA rolled out the neighborhood improvement program this fiscal year. As a part of the NIP, Neighborhood Improvement Program, the CRA created the Empowerment Series, a free curriculum for area residents with 10 free workshops focused on financial literacy, credit repair, and the path to home ownership. So hopefully we're able, with those workshops, to help prepare our residents to get back into homes as owner occupants again. The city has a fleet management department. You see the city vehicles. There are police vehicles, there are fire vehicles, code enforcement officers, building officials. Well, 90% of the auto repairs are done in-house. Over 70 new vehicles were added to the city's fleet this year. The city now has one of the most technology, modern, safe, and fuel-efficient police vehicle fleets in South Florida. The Economic Development Division, EDD, completed a successful taste event, and that's where folk get on a bus and they'll get a chance to visit several Lauderhill restaurants. Let's see, it was, and in completing that event, the bus tour was 8 restaurants in Lauderhill. They work closely with the Chamber of Commerce, and we do appreciate the great work that the Chamber does, and its president is here, Sharon McLennan. Thank you for being here. Now, the visit with the Chamber and Administrative Department. So we've got another Visit Lauderhill event coming up. Those trips help promote the city as a premier destination. The division was an exhibitor at the 2018 Florida International Trade and Cultural Expo. The EDD division attended the annual Realtor Association event, and every year the Realtors host this event, talk to the mayor, and our Economic Development Division is always there representing the city of Lauderhill. Later this year, the Economic Development Division will finalize the retail recruitment plan to help bring more retail businesses to the city. And we got started with that program when we lost the Target store. But I would quickly add is I think that we all have to rethink retail. Amazon is controlling the market, and so many of us, we shop online. So I don't think that retail will be what it's been in the past. So we've got strip centers and other places where I think the space is available, and we don't have the answer, but we've commissioned a study to help us find people to come into the retail. So the planning and zoning team processed 14 site plan applications. This includes the Swartz property, State Road 7 facade grant, the Aishel House assisted living facility. And next year, the Planning and Zoning Department will work on the comprehensive plan amendment for the land development regulations update, and those updates are needed on a regular basis. The Parks and Leisure Services Department, PALS, once again provided a large variety of sports activities for children, including the return of youth netball with 20 girls participating in a summer league. To highlight some special accomplishments, the under 11 Lions travel soccer team won the prestigious Western Cup tournament, and the Lauderhill Giants AA baseball team won the league championship in their age group. Now, none of this could be done without the help and leadership of 314 registered volunteers in our youth program who mentor and teach our youth. The City of Lauderhill applauds and thank you for your time and great work. PALS hosted, maximized to capacity, and had a waiting list for summer camp sites, and we had summer camp sites at several parks. Veterans Park, there were 75 campers. Windermere Community Center, 30 campers, and West Kinloch Park had 30 campers. The department increased its youth program classes, offering at many parks, including adding chess, dance, etiquette, music, and tennis programming. Special programming included a 3-day college tour to 4 major Florida universities for Lauderhill students. The department also has provided 6,400 swim lessons to our residents. The Sadkin Senior Program had a total of 4,887 visits in attendance throughout the year. On average, our drop-in senior programs at St. George Park and West Kinloch Park hosted approximately 20 seniors per day at each location. New programs included stretch and tone, chair yoga, Zumba, or is it Zumba? Aqua aerobics, etiquette classes, and field trips. The division also hosted a health fair for seniors. Many great programs are being offered for residents to take advantage of through our PALS department. The Public Works Department, PD, has approximately 165 acres of irrigation citywide. In addition, PD is charged with providing a clean and healthy environment through the effective management of stormwater for the residents of Lauderhill. Administrative staff provided over 22 training classes and educational opportunities to Public Works personnel. The Public Works Department plans to continue to cross-train with other departments to help improve the completion time. During fiscal year 2018, the engineering department assisted in the review and development of the plans for all of our GeoBond projects and participated in the application and approval of the NRCS EWP, where there was a $4.7 million grant to rehabilitate the canal embankments. The engineering staff also processed 193 residential permits, allocating $19,300 in fees, and 77 commercial permits, allocating $136,100 in fees, and completed approximately 600 engineering inspections. The Geographic Information Systems, GIS, division continued providing the National Flood Insurance Program information needed for the citywide community rating system, as well as addressing for the permitting, certificates of use, utility billing database, and digital mapping within the city. In the 2018-19 fiscal year, the Utilities Department's objectives are to continue with water distribution, wastewater collection, and water treatment improvements. The Utility Department improved the wastewater infrastructure throughout the city by responding to 185 reported sewer stoppages and 115 after-hour sewer emergencies. They cleared 65 wet wells, repaired 10 sewer laterals, repaired 19 lift station pumps, and completed, gotta go back, thank you, and completed pressure washing of wet wells and fence columns, painted the fence columns of 5 lift stations, completed 6 manhole repairs, completed 37 lateral TV inspections, and cleaned 10,000 feet, video inspected 2,000 feet of sewer gravity main, installed 10 new pumps at lift station 9, 10, 12, 28, 34, and 44. 5 years ago, some residents agreed to pay additional taxes for specific enhancements to their neighborhoods. The city established safe neighborhood taxing districts, which we call SNDs. The increased taxes that are paid by these communities, and they select the items that are going to be done in their communities, and they selected fencing, security gates, increased lighting, are some of the items that they selected. We recently had property appraiser Martin Kerr here to speak, and Martin Kerr reports that the highest increase in property values in our city occurred in the areas where there is a safe neighborhood taxing district. Now, each of our commissioners has incentives that they are, initiatives that they're working on to help improve the cities. Some of these initiatives are the Martin Luther King Black History Month program, which will be February 16th at the LPAC. We've got a tribute to women's history, which will be on March 14th, where 12 women will be honored. We have the SAKE Awards, which is to honor the academic achievement of our student athletes. We've got a strong soccer program with the Caribbean American Soccer Association. We also have a Teacher of the Year program where each selected Teacher of the Year in the city is honored at a breakfast which is held at the LPAC. We had the City Hall was lighted in pink during Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And twice a year, there is a community leaders breakfast where the community leaders get to come in and hear about or to get updates on the things that are happening in the city. On August 30th, 2016, Lauderhill residents approved a referendum authorizing the issuance of $44.5 million in general obligation bonds. And these bonds were for improvements to parks, public safety, and roadways. The bonds have funded 30 distinct projects which were identified by residents in public meetings with city staff. The reports of the progress are on the city's website, but I'm pleased to report that the projects are all on schedule. I close with sincere thanks to the city staff for their hard work and efforts in making Lauderhill a great place to work and to live. Thank you.